Well, it's also a way to trigger her resources, which is the network, which is mostly dormant.
So she's in the position of herding cats.
Yeah,
which we all know what that looks like. We all are trying to herd cats. So I think the idea you have the team and what she's doing with the transition is exactly what you've been looking for. How to articulate yourself physically. Like
basically, you're seeing a bunch of different groups, but you want to coalesce the behaviors between
exactly. She's in that space. She's bringing groups. She's a meta group. She's bringing groups together. And she's been at it for a while too. So out of all the different networks, Nicole was the one.
I had such a weird image of transition. I thought it was a big group, but just fucked up.
No, it's almost
because I found them in Barrie. How could I find them in Barrie if it wasn't?
It's a passion project like ours. For her,
yeah.
You found them in Barrie because that's the success she had so far. Like she's got reach.
Yeah, and that was years ago.
It's still the case. It's better now. She's more organized. We're more organized. Everybody's more organized. Yeah. This is the time.
Yeah. Yep. I'm sure like that same group probably doesn't even exist.
No, I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't even put it together.
Yeah.
Do not associate individual groups forming from the
meta group
from her because they can get it wrong.
Yeah, obviously.
It's like people trying to do Portal Mountain, and let's say Paul tries to do Portal Mountain, but look at the questions he still has, right? So if he can't tackle these questions on his own, intuitively, right? If he can't bring it back to the model like we do,
right? This gives me a vision like.
So
you know how like corporations
she's
are
not
doing,
strained though. I've noticed this. She herself is not strained.
How corporations are doing computation of just their subset. So a place like a guild like Portal Mountain, like our Portal Mountain, can interface with so many different corporations doing computation, even though they don't have the Portal Mountain stack within them, right? So you've got this kind of like this network based on coherence, right? Like
that's. What do you think I'm trying to get rid of the entire holochain? No, I'm not trying to get rid of the holochain. I'm giving validity to the concept of building up the knowledge itself, right? But the branching off, I'm not seeing as invalid. I'm seeing.
It's weird that you're seeing holochain as like a subset of what do you call it?
Imagination.
In your view, yes. But what holochain is doing right now is same thing that Bitcoin does. Basically, it
validates,
solidifies something through time.
Yeah, it validates a single version.
Too bad. This version is that through time.
Yeah, it's validating a single version.
Yeah. And so you want to, and we want to open
I don't agree with that.
The idea of interfacing with all possibilities.
Exactly. Because reality does not work on authority.
On some kind of, this is the official. This is valid. This is valid. Even from an agent perspective.
You still need options. You still can, right? You have to have options.
Right. You want to see all of the virtual and imaginative.
So I cannot in my conscience at all invalidate an alternative holochain. Like that idea of like, oh, just because somebody's trying a different route,
just because
is that makes it completely invalid.
But you must introduce the idea of immunity, of course,
which is why you market like as imaginary.
Having a virus scanner to say, okay, the point of this chain is literally to fuck up this chain and make me lose something. right? So a virus scanner tells you, okay, buddy, this chain is going to fuck your shit up if you start validating it.
Of course.
The immunity
You need,
built into programming.
This is why you need
right?
a committee in your head in the first place. Why don't you not actually not have
right. The security expert, this expert.
Why do you not ever yourself personally move through an action without deliberation
The committee of
I don't know, yourself?
The committee of natural guilds and the identities of those who sustain them.
Exactly. It's like nothing happens in a fucking vacuum. Why is everything is trying to be happening in a vacuum in the first place?
It keeps trying to land at a state. Isn't this insane? And it's such a hard problem to deal with because the mind itself does this to us.
Now here's the hard problem. Not fucking consciousness.
Not consciousness?
Consciousness is not the hard problem. The hard problem is why we're so stupid.
Why it keeps happening.
Exactly. Why are we so stupid, man?
The hard problem is, why is it hard?
and you know what? Like, who else is an expert on life other than a living fucking creature? Right? To begin with.
That's it. That's the source.
Exactly. So if you're the ultimate expert on fucking life, why should you use somebody else's fucking system?
Somebody else's state.
Yeah.
Right. Sharing, potentially mediating within obvious systems. The mediation should be obvious.
That's part of the existence.
How we mediate.
You are a medium.
How we mediate should be obvious.
You are a signal within a medium to begin with, so that correlates.
Yeah, the whole stack should be present and thinkable. And okay, this is to you. That's sentient machinery.
So let's talk about carriers.
This is over.
This is what I love about this. Carriers. A carrier space, right? Space.
Yeah, like
over time.
A medium.
So
essentially.
So if you
ordered medium.
So if you etch a mark in a space, right, in a specific time,
where you're taking
point,
in artifacts, what you're going to see. Yes.
You etch a mark in a space.
Yeah.
Right. That's a signal within a time frame.
Okay.
Right? So you have space and time moving.
Yep.
You modify the space in that particular time frame, you get a signal.
Yeah. Right.
You modify a space within a constrained time frame in a specific way, so we're shrinking down our so if we're
multiple views?
No. If we shrink down our possibilities, all our possibilities, and say that if you do it this way within that time frame,
you're talking about schemas.
You get a symbol.
Right.
So if you shrink your possibilities.
The possibilities, yes, within a localized space.
You get you can get what's called a symbol.
Yes.
So if you do it this way in that time frame,
it's
you get
called
this symbol.
That because it can't be anything else at that point.
That's your only medium. You're etching marks into that time.
That's pretty fucking deep, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
So there's a constraint, man. That function.
That's what it is.
So when you constrain things, you can get specific symbols. If you constrain this way, you get these symbols. Yeah. So what you get out of that is a symbol set. A limited number of symbols.
Oh, the potential variations of what you just did. Right. Yes.
So
alphabet and example.
So symbols happens through the constraint of the medium.
Right. Yes. That's the sentence which describes what you just said.
Now you expand. Take the symbols and put them into combinations. That expansions.
Yeah, these are the plateaus. Again, right? You're going through like
this is how you build a plateau out of what you
one carrier over another carrier.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's the grammar. Mm-hmm. When you have a grammar over those symbols, you have an expansion. So now you take all the limited symbols that you got out of the carrier and put them in so many different ways to make all the different meanings. And now that's your new carrier.
Right. Ta-da!
And this and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. Molecules chemicals.
Yeah, this is
Biology.
archetype model guild. What you just said.
That is.
Oh, the Triad Protocol. If anybody's ever heard of it, Portal
But this is
Mountain.
this. This is this protocol here. This is the. This is the agent.
What, that thing?
No, yeah, the synthetic. It's actually the synthetic neural
Oh.
network. Sorry, it's a synthetic neural network. Because this is where all the carriers, the agents, and all of that take place.
It's dead, Jim.
Molecules are agents and carriers.
Yeah.
That's like atoms
So
are.
what are you pointing to here? This is like, that's what you just said.
I was talking about the wrong thing anyway.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that basically is like the computation model actually is that model as to begin with. So as soon as you do this activity right there, this injection, you actually embed the entire layers, all of the layers.
Right.
You embed everything.
So
about
to
the model
understand
into it.
this is literally the language of the lowest layer itself.
Everything is embedded in that one action.
Yeah.
This is why we end with sentient machine too. We don't go beyond that. That embedding, that activity right there is the end be all of all meditation.
Yeah, like
It's that.
okay, so like when you're
And I understand this intellectually. I haven't done this physically.
right, when you're building stacks, a carrier, new carrier, you want to have its own language describe itself.
But as soon as you do that, it
Right.
realizes that it does carry
The only way
stuff.
you can describe yourself is if you describe not only your layer, but that of its composition, and its composition, and its composition,
Right.
and its composition,
So,
all the way to the bottom.
So when you try to describe the layer below's composition, what do you end up describing? All of those compositions. You have to. That's
Right.
So as soon as you
my
embed,
my
so as
point
soon
is
as
you have to
embed-
go all the way to the bottom. That's all
My,
that I'm
my
saying.
point is that as soon as you do layer one, you are going all the way to the bottom.
Yeah,
As soon
we
as
have
you
the
do.
same point.
Not exactly. All you're saying is that we have to, and I'm saying as soon as you actually do layer one,
What's it
You
made of?
do.
Oh, the one below. What's it made
exactly.
of? Oh, the
Okay.
one below. What's
so,
it made
okay,
of?
if
Oh,
you're
the one
implying
below.
that, then yes. If that's what you're implying, then
That's
yes.
what we just went through, man. That's, that's it.
So this embedding thing, like this is what this little arrow is saying. As soon as you realize that you've done the embedding and embed that into it, you're done. Because it recurs.
So, like, instruction manual is a picture of this model, and say if you get this, then you have the root of the system, how to construct it all.
Meta product.
Meta product. It'll just be a picture, a shitty picture of this.
So
We're just-
a couple of puddles with arrows.
We're waiting for people to start paying us money. Any minute now. I think, whoa! Like we literally released this. Okay, what happens next?
Is that John Travolta?
Yeah, looking around.
Where's my toilet?
So, yeah, basically.
That entire movie, did you notice that he was being like pretty much always on the sheriff? It's because of his heroin addiction.
Good place to be.
Yeah, man. Like the computation stuff, as soon as that hit me, I'm like, wait. So not only is my intuition was correct about about like just ending it there, because I had no content for this shit. Right?
For which ending what where?
Computing.
What are you talking about? Oh,
I had no.
computing,
I had no content for Computing Guild. I had no content
Yeah.
for
Right.
you know, like nothing.
You're like, what are you
DDD is like,
putting into this?
DDD was like a concept that I just played with as for programming, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's all about defining
Yeah.
languages.
So there's this.
Wait a minute, it's all about defining languages, and it will work only in a subset of like.
Computational economics. we hit on that, and then it's like, okay, this is what you put into that. The
Input,
relations
output, blah, blah,
between
blah.
people in terms of economics and computation.
Mm.
Because it's being expressed. What we're doing is expressed into the media, right? It becomes beyond the model, the inner, right? You're already putting it out there.
So yeah, so domain modeling and everything like that, and all of a sudden, wait, domain modeling is all about like, you're just creating a language around whatever. What happens at different layers?
Of course, yeah.
That's
This
actually
is
the functionality.
what we were just talking about.
Carriers become more powerful through
Right.
becoming more language capacity. No.
And that you
Right.
must be taking care of the whole. You must be
As soon as you dip in,
linking out.
As soon as you dip in and bring it back out, you got another layer going. As soon as that layer dips in and brings it back out, it's building another layer. As soon as that is dipping in,
Yeah.
it's building another. So the dip in
Right.
is the building of.
And so essentially each layer has to dip all the way as it builds up, right? Of course. It's not, they're not dumb. And this is what gives,
kill this, and the only way to kill this is to not do it.
this is what gives each hole on its unique connection, isomorphism to the other layers.
I'm getting rings.
It must go all the way down and up. To pick up, it must pick up all these
Yeah. Well,
connections between layers.
within a threshold, there's horizons.
Yep.
The whole on is the great horizon too.
Cool, man.
The great thing about the whole on is that it can be identified by a set of constraints.
Okay, so we were talking about like two slightly kind of different crazy things, I think. So like building holonic stacks. Yeah, I don't know if we'll get into it. But
No, we won't, but at least mention it.
yeah, just the idea of like, what does it mean to take care of the stacks below, right? And that means
Prosomorphism.
to properly speak your own language on your layer. When you are speaking your layer properly, that means that you are accounting for the languages of every layer below.
Dude, yes. Bam.
Fist bumps.
No. Language is fundamental.
Yeah.
Because each carrier
there's-
is speaking a language.
Totally seen that shit.
Yeah,
going
no.
down.
If the languages match, that's it.
That's what it means to speak the language. That's what it means to. So you propose a language, I propose a language. To speak the language is a thing that's indescribable.
Each layer is a language.
Indescribable always because of uncertainty.
We can start
uncertainty,
talking about
entropy,
layers.
and all of this shit.
Yeah.
Right, the archetype stack.
So the layers, physical, symbolic, all of that, can be talked about as languages.
Yeah. Good.
That's
of course,
fair.
yeah.
That's like absolute.
Right. Yeah. This the whole
Those are the carriers.
language grammar thing. Right.
We literally use this and build stuff onto it. He's like, yeah, this is these languages. This
It
is
wasn't
that language.
us.
This is that language. This is that language. This is that language. Go ahead.
We rest on the shoulders of giants.
So nothing goes beyond signal. Nothing goes beyond symbol.
Good job,
Every time
buddy.
you have that, you have sign.
Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Do you have any last message? Come on, bring it. Bring it. Oh, no. Not over my phone. Yeah. Alright, so it will. I almost remembered.
That's my problem.
So close.
I know.
That's
That's the problem.
it's very-
That's the fucking problem.
Cool stuff. So, think about this. Yes, you are correct that the card game should basically start as a conversation. Because, and at this experiment that I just told you about, so one part of your board, let's say your tabletop, has multiple sections. One is you have a starting point and a narrative of what happens in your conversation. So you two sit down on a couch
There's conversation and commentary
Cards.
on the conversation.
Fine. In another section, maybe.
Mhm.
But this is a proximity guild opens, right? Proximity guild start, boom, at the edge of the table. And you use cards to just wind and snake, use up as much space as you want, right?
You're actually going to help me with my model because I'm going to model that as a proximity guild now. I was going to model it as a conversation and then try to figure out what the common element is between the other variations of it. But boom, proximity guild. That's the variation.
That's where it's at.
That's
man.
the language. Man.
Yeah. So, like, I completely agree with that, and I modeled it. Actually, we had the boards.
Talking?
What?
You talk to him still?
Yeah. Well, he comes by. He's by all the time.
I don't know. Does he know how involved I am in your life?
Well, like, he would be happy to see you.
My
Pretty sure.
is just like raging right now.
Anyways, so long story short, we had cards like so we started like so a board like this, and this is getting concrete. It doesn't even fucking matter, but this is where you start a card sequence, right? And you could even have some overlapping, right? Like you could share the space that way. It would be complex as fuck in such a small area, but so the idea of having that snake. I see our ideas converging.
For sure.
That's the basis.
I think of why.
Every time you come together, that's literally going to be there. It's a log. This is your log. You can have other areas happening, but this log is going to be there every single time.
Yeah, I'm not totally against the fact that we've delayed as far as we have, because we have to establish so fucking much to even make sense out of why this card would even say that.
Don't even try to defend yourself because I completely understand.
What I'm trying to go for is like to arrive at a point where we can say like, okay, we're putting this card down because we're having a conversation. This is a message,
right?
To get to that point.
Or it's even like the broadcast of a conversation because we're speaking.
No, that's more complicated.
Right? Okay.
Just hold on. Shared is immediate. Shared is where it's at.
Yeah.
Right? So
start there.
You and I are not there personally. We don't start there. You and I don't start there.
Right.
People do.
We usually like in alien
this
realms.
is where we can do it. This is how we can fucking do it. I bring in the full-blown programming schema, conversation engine. You bring in cards. Write your shit down on a card.
Yeah.
Right? But you keep my schema in your mind.
Oh yeah.
We reach the devotional, we reach the shared.
Yeah.
Bomb. Done. Fucking done.
Fine.
We can do it. If you and I talk together all the time, putting the cards down.
Yeah, like I think this is where we were leading, is this idea of the tabletop board game card.
So let's put it this way: the formal face of the guild needs both of us, and Leon and Vicky and whatever. But in general, both of us.
That's a damn good start. Yeah.
Like you and I cannot.
In other words, we can bootstrap this.
We can only fake each other. But
we're extending way beyond what we just did or talked about today. So yes, indeed.
One thought I have is,
since we've solved the world, now what?
How to make ourselves accountable for said solution.
Would you like to know what I think that is? Since we've solved the world, good chap.
This is why I think doing the transition thing.
Oh yeah.
Chop wood.
Accountability. Yep. Is that what you said?
Join up with them to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, to have people in your network who understand the bootstrap.
And just do it.
Who understand it and can hold you accountable to the bootstrap.
And just do it.
Damn.
Not just think about it.
Damn. than that, man.
So that's why you did it. That's why we need to join them.
This is our New Year's resolution, right? Wait, shake on it. New Year's resolution. The transition.
I'm not talking about the resolution. I'm talking about work.
We just shook on it though, like too bad.
Like we have these videos, right? We can make another set of
doing
videos.
The work. Yeah,
we can make another set of videos, like completely relating our work to theirs.
Yeah,
and
this is the
making
bridge.
it happen.
Yep, bridge. This is.
And be like, this is the value.
Diplomacy.
This is where we are. Like we're serious. We're working. We're not thinking. We're working. We're
right.
Show them that
is put their efforts in context. Be able to explain everything that they're doing in the context of our model.
How exactly?
Of our model.
Yeah.
We tell them in our terms what they're doing. Articulate
how they're helping themselves.
Right.
How they're helping each other.
Yeah.
How they're helping them. How they're not helping themselves. Where we will fail.
Weak points.
Because of desire. Fucking desire. You cannot consent. Consensus. We need to solve the problem of consensus.
Right. Yes. A lot of kind of new age-ish groups who try to get together.
No, this democracy thing will not work.
They do try to do that very often. And it seems right.
No. Bringing it up is right.
But, right.
Consensus is not a democracy. That's all I'm saying. I can't stress this enough.
I didn't consider that. So explain. So consensus is a different process. A process of involving
mediation. It's the mediation problem.
Degrees of coherence, because your consensus on what? What is it you're consenting on?
Right.
Is it involving fundamental guilds?
Exactly. Like there's so many different things.
Is that part of your consensus?
Fuck that. No.
Right.
You can't work that way. This is not the way to work. Democracy will not work.
As implemented.
I cannot stress this enough. I will not work from a system that works from democracy.
To sense the will of the individual, though, how you interpret that as a system.
Initiatives
is up for debate.
Initiatives fulfillment. There has to be initiatives.
Right.
Individuals will be initiatives as well. Every individual is an initiative.
This is a very much world encompassing strategy for politics and social.
So why do you think I use pinky and brain imagery all the time?
All you have is somebody has a demand and then you have a supply. And how this plays out is how it plays out, right?
Exactly.
And that describes the whole of the social. As this happening, some demand.
That's the constraint.
Supplies being.
That's exactly the constraint.
Supplies being applied.
If you were to formulate it in my model speak, that's the constraint.
Right. And it's not some big overarching thing.
No.
It's what are the initiatives being put forward currently in your space, in your awareness.
Reflection
this
of
is
the hierarchy.
To be running the guild, to be watching out for those initiatives,
which is just the hierarchy.
Assembling corporations with people, assembling contexts, proximity guilds.
And you only need this level of detail because you land in a space where you need a lot of fucking detail to do anything.
Yeah. Because we're fucked otherwise. We don't.
Exactly. Like
as
we're in a space where we need to do a lot of detail to do anything.
It's like
this is the details we need.
We the people is a very small thing. It feels like, as an individual compared to the state, the corporations.
We the people is a meaningless fucking phrase.
Unless we the people is meaningless unless that encompasses or encounters
which it never does.
Whole space.
Which it never does. That's the other part of it, right? Like you never get to you really never get to these conversations in normal space because it doesn't get there. Like you never make those bridges
Right.
in those spaces.
It's an archetypal statement,
It's all-
though, it seems. Just the
it's
idea
not-
of we.
Check this out. This is like the entire thing is divided up by. This is the market space itself. This is how in fucking insidious it is. It how it drives mentality, giving like arbitrary evaluations to things, by saying like, hey, you should evaluate this question more than that question. It just spaces things out that way, and all of a sudden you're stuck with a framework. Even that is basically self-defined. You haven't chosen it. You're just working through it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think freedom might be kind of categorized as an ability to become disassociated from the given semantic trees. And sort of adopting your own.
I think
for data.
You're pointing towards politics as in a most general sense, as most people get trapped up in these social identities.
Mm-hmm. Always.
Right? They just get completely wrapped up.
If you name something this way, all of a sudden it's all of these things, properties, right? This is type. This is typing. When you assign a type label to a variable, you're saying this type has to have this property pointing to giving you a value, other property giving you a value, another property giving you a value. So so when you're given something that type, you're saying to yourself, I should be able to discern what the value of this is, what the value of that is, what the value of this is on this object. When you categorize things, that's what you're doing. So,
Right.
If that's not true,
Yep, and the impossibility of it comes up when you actually try to do that.
if that's not true, like, good shit, fuck yourself up. And you have a couple of choices there, right? You either
True, not true.
double down, or you reevaluate.
Yeah.
And double down is the easy route, right?
Yeah, most often. What's comfortable, what's not comfortable.
And what has consequence, what doesn't.
Right.
Doubling down often does not have an immediate consequence.
Yeah, man. I think I feel like we're moving into another subsection maybe for later. Doesn't that seem like a fucking awesome
Dude,
topic?
this is meditation.
Like politics. Basically how your ideology
We'll probably
affects
We'll
your-
probably integrate this, but this is meditation.
We have to, yeah.
This is pure meditation. I have never.
This is the goods that fucking feels awesome. Yeah, man. That's the goods, man. We supplying that shit. We like drug dealers.
We doing it.
We're on the guild.
We do.
Repping the guild.
They don't do what we do.
They don't do that.
We do it. We do it.
No.
But we do. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, buddy. What a day. Peace out. Good times. Enjoy your night.
I will. Cheers.
Peace.
Thanks.